Hello! You are watching the Video Voters Guide, organized by the League of Women Voters of Portland. We are in the studios of Metro East Community Media to talk with candidates running in the November 2020 general election. All candidates who filed for this race were invited to participate in the Video Voters Guide. However, there are many reasons during a campaign why a candidate may be unable to appear. For comprehensive coverage by the League, including information on candidates who might not have been available for a video interview, visit vote411.org. Information is available in both English and Spanish. Candidates may choose to include additional information on Vote 411, such as their own YouTube videos. Watch, share, and be an informed voter.
Hello, this is Debbie Kay with the League of Women Voters of Portland. And with me today is James Ball, running for Oregon House District 36. Welcome, James. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Let's get started. Can you describe the part of Oregon that you're running to represent? Tell us about yourself and what are your unique characteristics for this job?
Absolutely. So House District 36 is essentially Southwest Portland. It is west of the Willamette River out to the edge of Multnomah County, Burnside-ish down south to Multnomah Boulevard. And my name's James Ball. I was born in Portland, grew up in Bend. I have a bachelor's degree from Corban University in Salem, where after I graduated from there, I joined the Army as a communications officer, spent 8 years in the Army, 3 tours in Afghanistan, came back to Oregon to get my MBA at the University of Oregon, spent 4.5 years in corporate America, and now I'm a small business owner. And what makes me unique is just my experience running businesses at a large scale and also at a small scale, and being able to take that experience and apply it to the legislature.
Thank you. Right now we're dealing with big issues. The combined effects of COVID-19 plus the devastating wildfires are having an immense impact on Oregon's budget. How do you think the legislature could and should address those issues?
Well, I think we compare it to other states. I think that what we can do is we can have the same outcome with a smaller budget. I think it just takes a lot of hard work of digging into the budget, looking at what other states are doing. An example that I've given before is with school. The state of Utah, for instance, spends less per capita than Oregon does and has a higher high school graduation rate. So I haven't done a deep dive into their budget, but at the same time, there are 48 other states to look at. So if we look at their budget, we can get the same results with less money. It just takes a lot of work. And so I'm willing to go that extra mile to figure out how we can maximize the amount of money that we have. We can cut budgets and still produce the same goods and services to our taxpayers.
Thank you. What steps would you take to ensure that more Oregonians are qualified and hired for Oregon jobs?
So this is probably counterintuitive, but I would say less regulation and less taxes. Companies are moving out of Oregon. I was just looking it up. In 1996, we had 7 Fortune 500 companies headquartered in the state of Oregon. Now we have 2. They are moving out of the state because they are overtaxed and overly regulated. And so if we want more jobs in Oregon, we need more companies in Oregon to produce those jobs. And high-paying tech jobs, for instance, produce a lot of positive externalities when it comes to services around those jobs. So I think we need to be more business-friendly in the state of Oregon.
James, how do you think that the legislature can provide stable, adequate, long-term funding for education, for public education?
So I think it's kind of the same as the last question. I think that we can do more with less. I think it needs to be a line item on the budget, and it needs to be scrutinized, and we need to put more money toward teachers and reducing class sizes and the things that matter, and less toward administration and other things that do not directly benefit the students. And like I said before, I think that we can look at other states for how they're doing it. And I think that that's the best way to get the best bang for our buck when it comes to education.
Thank you. Misinformation can have a damaging effect for the democracy. What approaches might you take to ensure that Oregonians have accurate and unbiased information about elections and about government?
You know, I really struggled with this one because it's tough when the misinformation is coming from, normally I would say, under normal circumstances, I would say, just tell people to listen to official sources and not YouTube or Facebook. But in 2020, the misinformation is coming from the official sources half the time. So I would say just have a unified message from the official sources. COVID, you know, the CDC and the Surgeon General and the president and everybody needs to be on this. I know that's federal, and I'm running for a state seat, but just sort of similar at the state level is make sure that everyone's on the same page, that all of the messaging is the same, that that we present sort of a united front against this misinformation, because the misinformation is all over the place, and some of it is coming from places you don't want it to come from. So yeah, just make sure the messaging is consistent and make sure that's accurate.
Thank you. We still have some time. In fact, we have about 3 minutes. You answer fast. What would you like to tell people about your candidacy and what you would do if elected to the Oregon House?
Absolutely. So, I'll answer question number 2. We had switched that up at the last minute, and it was about carbon. I think that global warming and managing our carbon footprint is something that absolutely needs to be done in the state of Oregon. And in the country, in the world. What I don't believe in is overly bureaucratic legislation that is going to undermine businesses and the economy in Oregon. This is probably going to be unpopular, but I think nuclear power is a great way, that is the cleanest, the safest, the greenest technology that can produce power that with a very, very small carbon footprint. I think that's the direction we need to go in the state of Oregon. Yeah, I think that as a business owner and as someone who's had experience in corporate America, we are going to have an enormous budget crunch going forward in the next few years. And I think that I'm uniquely positioned to be able to take that experience and apply it to the legislature, while also, you know, protecting the environment and pushing for some of those other good legislation and good governance things that I think have been lacking in the last few years.
Thank you. You still have some time. Anything else you want to share?
You know what? I think that's probably good. I think I said what I wanted to say.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today, James Ball, running for Oregon House seat, District 36.
Thank you for having me.
Being here. You're welcome.
This has been the Video Voters Guide. Thank you for watching. The general election is Tuesday, November 3rd. The last day to register is October 13th. Remember to mail your ballot a week ahead or visit a ballot drop location. Be sure to inform yourself about the candidates and ballot measures and exercise your right to vote.